Hey guys, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. I got a really cute little card here for you. It features the Sale-a-bration designer series paper and the penguin place bundle. I just love this new penguin Playmates designer series paper. It is 12 by 12, but I got a little 6 by 6 sample here for you. Let me show you some of the patterns. This is free with a $50 order while supplies last. So get yourself the penguin place bundle and maybe the Stamparatus that we're going to use for today, and get this designer series paper for free. I love that it's got some great winter pails, and then the back sides are these awesome patterns that you can use for pretty much any occasion. So it's a really versatile pack of designer series paper, and it can be your gift when you purchase $50 or more during Sale-a-bration. All right, so let's get started here. We're gonna start with a mint macaron card base, and it is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Let's go ahead and work that score, and then we're gonna emboss the front. I embossed the front of my card with the brick and mortar 3D folder because I thought it kind of had an igloo feel. I don't know if anybody picked up on that. This was one of my swap cards. And we're going to grab our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and set up for embossing with a 3D folder. So we need the #1 platform and our brick and mortar folder. We're going to pop the card in there and be careful because this is a very linear pattern. We don't want our bricks to run uphill or downhill. So watch your placement. And then we can pop it on the machine. I like to put the back of the card through the machine, lay the folder down. When I'm doing card front, that's how I do it. And then we're gonna pop #4 on top of there and give a crank. And there's our brick texture. Pretty cool, huh? Kind of looks like an igloo, maybe. All right, let me slide that out. And I'm gonna just grab my bone folder and kind of work this crease again. I don't want to work the pattern out, so I'm not pressing really hard, but I want to flatten that card and work the crease. Now next up, we're going to use our Stamparatus, and we're going to get really, really dark black penguins. I have my little penguin from Penguin Place right here on my Stamparatus already. And we're going to take some white cardstock. Going to line up our penguin so that it stamps on the side here. And once we've got pretty good placement, we're going to put our magnets. Be very careful, don't let your magnets hit together. They will shatter. Let's see, I wonder if I can do it this way. We don't want our paper to move, so I'm trying to use both magnets. I think I like that placement. Now we're going to ink up with Memento Tuxedo Black. We're going to stamp our penguin. And then, to get the most solid black image that we can, we're going to lift. See, he's a little spotted. We're going to ink again, and then we can stamp in exactly the same place thanks to the Stamparatus. And then we can get our solid black penguin images. We need 2 penguins, so I'm going to flip my paper end over end, put it in exactly the same placement, just stamp another penguin on the opposite end. See? All right, we're going to move the magnets away from each other. Flip the paper. Check the placement. Put the magnets back, keeping them away from each other. And one more penguin. We're just going to repeat the same process. Ooh, look at those nice dark penguins. Solid images without too much fuss. Now, I'm not going to clean my stamp right away, so I'm just going to take a little piece of mini grid paper, the small grid paper, and put it between my mat and my stamp so that I don't have an inky mat when I go to use my Stamparatus again. The Penguin Place stamp set is a 28-piece photopolymer stamp set, so we need a Stampin' Pierce mat. Let's get some ink pads here. Got Calypso Coral, Mint Macaron, and Misty Moonlight. Got scraps of the same color cardstock here, Misty Moonlight, Mint Macaron, and then our basic white. We're going to stamp and then punch feet for our penguin on a basic white scrap. So we're paying attention to the orientation of the punch. So we can just feed those little feet in there. We're gonna need 4. Okay, we'll set those aside to dry for just a second. And then I've got the little beak for our penguins. Let's finish their faces. Little calypso coral beaks. Set those aside. We'll punch them in just a minute. Now each of my penguins needs a hat and scarf. So I'm going to do a hat and a scarf. But before I clean them to change them, inside I have a little mint macaron hat. So let's grab the inside piece too. I've got a stitched scallop rectangle here. This is from the Stitched So Sweetly. It's the largest stitched scallop from the Stitched So Sweetly die set. We're going to slide this guy to the side. Inside I have Be Cool, Be Chill, Be Merry. We're going to stamp that with Misty Moonlight right along the bottom of our card. And then we're going to decorate with a little hat. Now we can wipe these off with our simple chamois and make our Misty Moonlight. Got a scarf and a hat. All right, now let's clean away. Oh, one more greeting. Got a piece 3/8 by 4 of basic white, and we're gonna do our outside greeting. This one says, "To the coolest friend ever," and we're gonna stamp that a little bit right of center so we have room for our button. All right, let me clear away the ink pads, and I'm gonna cut these guys out. They are not on the punch. You gotta give them a little fussy cut. So I'll get them cut out, clear away the ink pads and the Stampin' Pierce mat, and we'll get this card put together. All right, so we've got our little hats and scarves. Let's punch out our penguins. I'm gonna pop these guys right in and give them a punch. Oh my gosh, I love this. So easy. Look how cute that guy is. Flip. Ah, I gotta trim a little bit. He could have been a little bit higher. Here we go. Give this guy a little punch. Now their feet. We need 4 little feet. All right, everybody's got feet. Let's glue them on. Got a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue, and we're gonna glue the feet to the back of our penguin. So just a little drop of glue. And then same thing with this guy. And then we're gonna glue their hat and scarf on too, like penguin paper dolls. So a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue is all you need here. A little dab on the top of their head too. Super cute, isn't he? All right, let's dress his buddy same way. Aren't they adorable? Okay, let's put them aside and let them dry. We'll work on the card for a minute here. All right, get our sample, get our buddies. Got some strips of that gorgeous designer series paper. This is the Penguin Playmates, and we're just going to use these B-side patterns. I'm gonna glue them to the bricks with some multi-purpose liquid glue. Went a little bit high and tippy, and then this guy a little bit low and tippy. And then this guy down the middle. Next up, our tag. Let's look at that. I've got 2 tags here. One is soft seafoam and one basic white. They're the largest tag from the Tailor-Made Tags dies. And we've got a little D reinforcer, and that is from Misty Moonlight. So all those cut ahead, but now I'm going to show you the little treatment I did for these tags. Let's go ahead and glue the reinforcer to the soft seafoam so that we don't lose it again. And then we're going to take the white tag and we're going to make a little slope for our penguins to live on. Now you can just freehand that with scissors if you want to, but I've got a die for that. So let me grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and let me show you what I did. We're set up for die cutting here now, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then our tag. My little slope comes from the Basic Borders dies. I'm going to grab this curvy die here, a little stitched edge. It'll complete our slope. And I'm going to cut this tag in about in half, maybe a little bit lower than half, using this border die. So pop 3 right on top of there and give it a crank. And now we've got a nice stitched slopey tag bottom for our penguins to stand on. Let's adhere that with Stampin' Dimensionals to our seafoam tag. Got some big pieces from the edge of a mini dimensional sheet. Let's use that up. This is a perfect application for those ends. All right, everybody's all sticky, and we'll just line up the bottom corners. And there's our environment for our penguins. Let's get them in here. We're going to put dimensionals on the top half of these guys, and we'll glue their feet down. All right, everybody's all sticky. Let's glue them down. And then if you want to, you can add a little bit of liquid glue behind their feet. Now that guy's a little high. There we go. Aren't they cute? Bring our card back in here. The Misty Moonlight and silver twine here. I'm gonna thread and tie a big loopy bow. Trim that away from the spool. I can glue it to the card. Coolest friend ever. Let's dovetail the ends. I'm going to use my tailored tag punch and pop a little dovetail banner end on both sides. We'll need a little dimensional to support the left end here under and past to the coolest, and then a little liquid glue under the sentiment because that's going to go over the tag. We'll adhere that across the tag. Another little detail, we've got a Misty Moonlight button here. We cut that one using the All Dressed Up dies from Misty Moonlight scrap. And I think when you put a button on, it needs to be thread. So I've got a plastic canvas needle here and a little bit of white twine from the twine combo pack. And I'm just gonna thread up my button. I separated the layers of my twine just to make it a little less bulky. I made these cards for a swap and did a bunch of them without doing that, and realized later that it would probably be a little bit easier to handle if I took some of the threads apart. So I actually unspooled a length of it. There's 5 strands and we're using 2. I'm going to take a mini glue dot, put it on the back of my button, and then I'm going to catch the ends of the twine in the mini glue dot and cut away the excess. We can take another little mini glue dot to make sure it sticks to the card well, and pop that on. And the last step, we're going to embellish with some of these subtle shimmer sequins. I'm going to just put some little dots of multi-purpose liquid glue on the card and then add the sequins into the dots using my Take Your Pick tool. All right, there it is. To the coolest friend ever. Be cool, be chill, be merry. If you got any questions about the project, you can email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. To shop Stampin' Up! 24/7, you can buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. See you next time.